Okay, so thanks, Adrian, and thanks everybody for taking some time out of your afternoon to join us. As Adrian said, we're going to be talking about cost-saving benefits using automated shipping solution. Specifically, we'll be looking at StarShip, which is our multi-carrier solution. Before I really go into some of the benefits as far as from a PowerPoint perspective, I wanted to just give you some background on our company. I am with V Technologies. We've been working with the Sage products for over 12 years now, and we are a gold certified partner. We have thousands of customers using both of our products, actually. We have the StarShip solution that we're going to be looking at today. We also have a ShipGear solution, which is a middleware that works between carrier-supplied systems such as UPS WorldShip and FedEx Ship Manager and the Sage products. But specifically, we wanted to look at StarShip today so that you could see the full spectrum of cost-saving benefits that you can get by using a multi-carrier solution. So let's go into some of the benefits from a warehouse perspective. So when we're talking about cost savings, one of the first things that comes to my mind with an integrated solution is reducing the costs that are associated to manual entry. So if you have shippers out in the warehouse that are using an address book to search your customer lists, or they're getting the tracking and freight charges back to the front office via little audit tags or paper-based system, using something like StarShip to integrate that entire process can reduce all that manual entry, all the possible errors that are associated to that, and can help various parts of your organization. So looking at the warehouse, StarShip will integrate directly into Sage 100, or formerly Mass 9200. We're going to grab both the order header and the line item information. So some of the fields that I've mentioned on this slide, ship to, ship via, residential, those kinds of fields can help twofold. One way they're going to help you is by getting accurate information from a carrier perspective so that your carriers aren't charging you additional accessorial fees like address correction, residential surcharge, extended area surcharge. All of those accessorial fees can add up, and it's something that is easy to eliminate by having an integrated solution, and something that you should definitely look into. From the flip side of that is the idea of helping provide a higher level of customer service to your customers. And so by getting accurate shipping information directly from the Sage 100 document, it's going to eliminate the idea of delaying the transit time. So if the carrier has the wrong information, it's going to delay the package getting to your end user. If your customer asked you to ship their package via COD, StarShip can retrieve that information directly from the document in Sage 100 so that your shippers don't have to worry about that and they don't have to select that manually. Accessing the item level information can help your shippers by providing international documentations such as certificate of origin, commercial invoice, SDEs, as well as the BOL on the LTL side. From another perspective, StarShip's going to allow you to personalize your field maps. So it will come with a default set of field maps, but we do realize that customers use their user-definable fields for various reasons. So we provide you a user-friendly interface for mapping those fields into StarShip. I think one of the most popular ways to use these field maps from a shipping perspective is to automate the billing type. So if you have a customer that asks you to always ship their packages on their UPS account 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you can actually set StarShip up to look at multiple fields inside of your document to automate that entire process so that your shippers don't have to worry about that, your order entry personnel don't have to worry about entering it and getting that information to the shipper. And then the last two bullets here, integration with other third-party products to really round out the entire offering. So from a warehouse automation perspective, we do integrate with both ScanForce and the ScanCo solutions, which are two popular barcoding solutions for pick-pack. So when you're using those solutions, we can retrieve the information that was defined using the handheld to basically come up pre-packed inside of StarShip with all the boxes and items already defined. And then EDI integration. So we do offer EDI solutions or integrate with other EDI solutions such as Mapadoc. And so the entire, by bringing in the information from a warehouse automation perspective, from the warehouse automation solution like ScanForce and ScanCo, and then actually doing the shipping for you from StarShip, producing the barcoded shipping labels and all that good stuff, and then sending that information to the EDI solution, such as Mapadoc, you can really complete the entire workflow with very little manual entry involved. And that's really the target that we're trying to get to. So we talked about automating the process from a warehouse perspective. What I wanted to mention is a front office perspective. And so not only can you assist your shippers with getting the shipments out faster and more accurately, it also will impact and assist your customer service as well as accounts receivable sides of things. So from a customer service perspective, we're talking about retrieving email addresses directly from your documents, your Sage 100 documents, to automate shipment notifications that are automatically going to go out to your customers or the recipient of the packages. And then also StarShip will update the invoice in real time with the tracking information, so that customer service reps, if they do need to have the tracking numbers, they'll have it at their fingertips. It will all be in your Sage 100 system. And from an accounts receivable perspective, we're at this point talking about basically the freight automatically updating on the invoice, as well as StarShip creating the invoice. So the whole idea there is getting your invoices out faster to help that whole process and make sure that you're getting your receivables in as quickly as possible. StarShip has a freight rules module that is standard within the application. Really gives you a lot of flexibility on further defining how and when the freight gets updated on your invoice. So you can do very standard things like adding additional handling fees, but then you can take it one step further and add parameters around those rules. So you could say, if my customer type equals gold, I'd like to give them a 10% discount on my list rates. And if the customer type is platinum, maybe I want to give them a 15% discount on my list rates. So you can do things like that so that your accounts receivable department doesn't have to worry about manually calculating what the freight charge should be. And StarShip will have provide you with the ability to use either the list rate from the carriers or your negotiated rate. So you can define which one of those you'd like to use as a basis for adding the rules on. So we went through the warehouse and the front office, more talking about the savings that you get from automating the process and reducing manual entry and getting better accuracy. But now with this slide, I'm talking more about hard cost savings that you can receive by using a multi-carrier solution in this perspective. So one thing that StarShip is going to allow you to do is to rate shop between all your available carriers. And I'll show this to you during the demo so you can see what that looks like. But from the rate shop, you'll be able to rate shop both parcel and freight, and then also sort by either the actual freight itself, or you might want to sort by the delivery time to see when the if your customer wants it to get there by a certain time, what your options are for that. Many of our customers are going with regional carriers to help reduce freight spend as well. So StarShip does support OnTrack, which is a regional carrier on the West Coast, and Speedy, who's a regional carrier in the Midwest. Both can provide guaranteed next-day services at ground rates. as well as there's you know, a whole slew of benefits that you get by using regional carriers. Third-party parcel insurance. So if you're using declared value with a carrier, third-party parcel insurance is an easy way to save money on the insurance fees that you're being charged by carriers. StarShip also provides functionality to run late delivery reports. So you can do an automated tracking process where you can determine what time you want StarShip to track all of your shipments. And what StarShip will do is it'll compare the actual delivery date and time to the guaranteed delivery date and time. So if it's delivered any time later than when it was guaranteed, StarShip will run the report for you that you can provide to help provide to the carriers in order to get your refunds. And then, of course, there's address validation. And there's quite a few fees that the carriers will charge that are all wrapped around address correction, residential, commercial, extended area surcharges. Okay, so that's really all I had for slides. Before we, oh wait, I guess I had one more slide here, the supported carriers. This is just a list of all the supported carriers that StarShip offers, a mix of both parcel and freight, as I mentioned before. Okay, so what you're looking at right now is the StarShip shipping screen. This is where your warehouse personnel will be primarily working to produce their shipments and process those. And so I'm just going to enter, I have an order number 810 here. You can either enter this number in like I did. You can scan it in with a wedge type scanner. You can browse for it. So there's many different ways to get it into StarShip. I think the easiest thing to do is to actually barcode the order number on your pick sheet, and that way you can just scan that in through a wedge type scanner. So the first dialog that you're looking at now is our address validation dialog box. You're seeing here that it's being validated for the zip plus the 4. You don't necessarily have to have this screen come up. I just have it showing so you can see what it looks like there. But I'm going to go ahead and use that validated address. And now you'll see on my ship screen that my recipient address here in the preview pane has a little icon here so you know that it's been validated. I'm just going to quickly put in a couple boxes here so that we can process this. Now you'll notice down in this view that I'm coming in, and here's my package with some items in it. So we are retrieving the item level information. In this particular case, it's going to California domestic address. So the address or the item level information really isn't used that much in this particular case, unless you're requiring EDI. But really where we see the most benefit from grabbing these items is for international or LTL shipments, where you are required to produce reports that have, or documentation that have commodity level information on them. One thing that we mentioned during the PowerPoint presentation is the idea of sending shipment notifications to your customers. So you'll see here on my shipment tab under options that we have Quantum View Notify automatically selected. And if I drill in here real quick just to show you what email addresses we'll have, you'll be able to see that my recipient's actually going to receive a ship notification. But I'm also retrieving the salesperson's email address that's associated to this order. And I'm setting that person to receive both the ship and the exception notification. So this is going to allow the salesperson to receive a notification if the package for some reason has been delayed, maybe due to weather. And they will be able to contact the customer and kind of provide that extra level of customer service that we're all looking to offer our customers. And then in my third notification here, this just happens to show you an example of a fixed value. So I've set this up in StarShip just to have this fixed value always email address get the ship notification. And as I mentioned earlier, we do offer a user interface to allow you to personalize and change these field maps and translations. It's very simple to use, so it's very simple to modify any one of these translations or mappings. Now that I have a couple of boxes set up, I'm just going to rate shop. Now you'll notice here in my preview pane that it's automatically selected as next day air. So StarShip does translate based on the ship via that's on the order. But from there you could actually do a rate shop if you wanted to, or you could modify the actual ship via in any way. So what's happening in my rate shop here is that you'll see right now I'm setting it to sort by delivery, but maybe I want to sort by charges to look the least expensive to most expensive way to ship my package. And you'll see that I have a combination of both parcel and freight options here. So when you're looking to maybe determine if hundredweight or LTL may be a better route to go, maybe if you're shipping LTL, you're going onto all the individual carrier websites and trying to do this manually. This is really a nice way of rate shopping to find the least expensive way and then deciding from here. StarShip also supports a 3PL known as Freight Quote. And so by using a 3PL, sometimes you may be able to get lower rates than you're able to negotiate on your own. We also support UPS Freight, FedEx Freight, YRC, and Conway. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and stick with UPS Next Day Air since that was what was set on my original order. And really all I have to do now is either click here or hit F5 to process the shipment. StarShip's going to generate the barcoded shipping labels. Typically these labels are going to go to a thermal label printer. I have them coming up in the preview screen so you can actually see what they look like here. So here's my package 1 of 2 and 2 of 2. And also while I was processing the shipment, StarShip updated my Sage 100 system with by creating the invoice and then updating all the associated tracking details. So let's go into invoice data entry real quick so I can show you what happened as a result of that shipment. So here's my invoice data entry screen. I'm just going to click on this last arrow button here to bring up the last invoice that was created, which should be the invoice that was created by StarShip as a result of us processing that shipment. So you'll notice here that the original sales order number is 810. That's the one that we processed. If I click on the tracking button from here, these are the 2 boxes or packages that we shipped against that order, my 2 50-pound packages, the tracking information, freight charges, and comment just the fact that it went UPS. On my totals tab, you'll also see that the freight amount has been updated. And as I said earlier, this freight charge can include a customizable handling fee using the freight rules or just a standard markup by a percentage or a flat dollar amount. Okay, so that is my first example of processing a shipment going against the Sage 100 order, creating the invoice.